Hello everyone, my name is Griff, this is my channel, and today we will be talking about the new unit for the story of Dragalia Lost that is introduced in Chapter 14. If you are not caught up to Chapter 14, please click off now. I do not want to be the reason you're spoiled for this unit, who I personally love. Alright, if you're still here, let's talk about her. We've all been waiting for her since we saw her in the story. I predicted this. I was sure this would be the one we would get. Her name is Xena, and she is the Otherworld aspect. So yes, this is Other Zethia. Renamed to Xena in the story, so there wouldn't be as much confusion. They go over that in the story. And we're going to be looking at her kit, and she, for a welfare unit, is not bad at all. She has a lot of things in her kit that make her very good. As you can see here, she's not very high in the DPS sim, but she has a very, very, very unique niche that I think personally will change the way Shadow is played. So, let's look at her kit. A version of Zethia battling to save her world from Other by using the power of the Danshan to visit alternate dimensions. After joining the Prince's party in their fight, she asks them to call her Xena. As you can see, she has a beautiful art. Let's see the 3D model up here. It is. You can tell this is just one of the... I think this is a new model for her. I'm not 100% sure. I'll have to check. But you can see that this model has a bunch of detail put into it. I absolutely love it. It looks amazing. And she's kind of in a credit element. She is a Shadow Wand. I thought this unit would be light, just given the event and given the everything that's going on right now, and the fact that we only have one other light unit in the story. But she is Shadow, so she is our third Shadow unit in the story. She's the first wand in the story. And let's look over her kit. Celestial Prayer deals 3 hits of 190 and 1 hit of 209 shadow damage to the target and nearby enemies. Alright, that's pretty decent. It's not super good. It's not terrible. It has a 2700 SP cost and a 560 shareable cost. This is of course shareable. All story units have free shareable skills, so that's something you can do. Then her second skill. This is one of the biggest parts of the unit. I'm going to play a small video of 4 Xenas playing Expert Cayenne to really demonstrate, because the first time I read this ability, I didn't really understand what it meant, and I want to show it. So, deals 1 hit of 400 shadow damage to enemies directly ahead. Additionally, generates 12 bullets in a circle around the user that rotates clockwise for 5 seconds and damages any enemy that comes in contact with them for 50 shadow damage. Each bullet can damage the same enemy once every 0.5 seconds for 10 possible hits per bullet, up to 120 hits total. Movement as well as performing attacks and other skills is possible while these bullets are active. So when I read this, I had like no idea what this meant in any way, shape, or form. I had no idea. I thought this was like she was gonna have like some like barrier that she summoned around people and summoned around herself. But this works a lot like the champion Aurelian Soul from League of Legends. If for those of you who don't play League, I'm gonna actually mute this really quick. For those of you who don't play League, the way Aurelian Soul works is that he has these 3 stars that constantly rotate around him, and whenever he walks near someone, if they run to the stars, they take damage. And this is exactly how this skill works. I want to see if I can find it directly in the video. This was brought to me by Chaos Kitsune on the Dragalia Lost subreddit. If you want to go find it, you can. I'll drop a link to in the comments to this exact video, not the post, but the video. And let's see if we can find it. No, that's Dragon. I think it's near the front. Yes, this right here. Perfect. So this is how the skill works. You can see these little things that are rotating around her, and she can move freely and roll around and hit and move around while those are rotating. And this actually does damage per every tick. And you can see it's kind of like a barrier that's around her as I thought, but it's not as... I thought this was just going to be something else. I thought this was going to be like, oh, it does all 120 hits at once. That's not the case. It is a lasting effect that goes on her and stays on her for a long enough time that you could almost get half the SP cost back. So that's really... Oops. So that's really good. let's look at her Koa ability. Her Koa ability skill damage, of course, normal. She does come as a natural 5-star. She's only the second welfare 5. Oh no, sorry, third welfare 5-star. We also got Wukong and Alphonse, but she's the first story unit to come as a 5-star. So that's something to talk about. Her Koa ability is Shadow HP below 6% equals HP regen. If a teammate is attuned to Shadow, grants them an HP regen buff for 20 seconds when their HP drops to 60%. After activating, this ability will not activate again for 30 seconds. Benefits your whole team. So yeah, if you get low, you get a nice HP buff. And this comes into her effect that this character is a hybrid healer similar to Heinwald, except I think she actually heals more than Heinwald, which is actually very funny to me. You know, you look at this, you look at the DPS sim again. Heinwald isn't this is only at wands right now, but Heinwald is above her. If I take this off of just wands, Heinwald's above her. Heinwald is like all the way up down here. There is he. There he is. He's right there. She's right there. So yeah, it's only a 4k difference. But she's the wand and he's the staff. So that's just kind of funny to me that that's how they did that. But yeah. Her first ability increases strength by 8% and increases the potency of recovery skills by 15% for 10 seconds after using Twilight Crown. So that's her first ability. Oh, no, sorry, that's her second ability. My bad. Using Celestial Prayer, her first ability grants the user a Sacred Logos effect. When this effect is active, the user's next force strike will gradually recover the entire team's HP for 15 seconds. This effect cannot stack and will be consumed on use. So she can get regen buffs up whenever she uses this first skill. And this force strike, let me see if I can find it in the video. This force strike is extremely similar to the one Peony has, where it's kind of like a, not even like a real force strike effect. It simply just goes around them and it doesn't do any damage, but it does give healing. The mods on the healing have not been found yet. If they are found, I will update this later with them. But yeah, she's able to heal a lot in content. And I think that's one of the most important parts of her kits, being Zethia, of course. Normal Zethia was a healer in the main story. And I think that we might get a Gala version of her for Anniversary, since we're getting a Gala version of basically all the story characters. I think the next adventure we get a Gala form of will be Laxi, and I'm going to do a video on Chapter 14, my thoughts on it and how I felt about it. But yeah, that chapter just pointed to Laxi getting a Gala variant, really. That's like the main thing I got from that video completely. But I think she'll get one. I think it will probably be light, and it will be on the second anniversary, personally. And I think that might be a healer. It might be our first Gala healer. And that the healing aspect in her kit is just reflected so well. Other than that, she has blindness res of 100%. Again, it's not going to be super helpful because paralysis is usually more helpful, especially if you're taking on Jupiter. But Cayenne doesn't really matter. And then skill prep 100%. Fills up 100% of the skill gauge at the start of quests, so she can get these abilities right out. She out the gate has a heal, has a strength buff, and a recovery effect buff. So you can use skill 2, skill 1, force strike if you needed to do an opening blast, and that would immediately get you some HP back. Yeah, so I mean, there's not much to be said. You look at here, and she is the 5th Shadow Wand out of 6 on the DPS sim. However, these 3 are all mana spiraled. Cassandra, poor Cassandra, completely power crept. Already was power crept on release by Gala Cleo, got a mana spiral, didn't do anything, and now power crept by a free unit, and especially Zethia of all people. You hate to see it happen, but it is what it is. And these all, I think Euphemia doesn't really have a super niche. She just wants to inflict poison. Kleiman, I mean, he's Kleiman. I don't know what to say about him other than the fact that he just is basically just a normal healer, but even then, he doesn't even do that much. And of course, Gala Cleo, the buffer. The broken unit used to be best unit in the game, only be power crept by another Gala variant, so yeah. But I think she has a niche, especially if you invested in Gala Cleo and you wanted to bring a healer to content. The best shadow healer in the game, other than Grace, and if you don't have Grace, you really want to use Cleo, normal Cleo. Normal Cleo has a Dispel, she has a bunch of healing, she has a defense up buff, So she has a lot of things, and I think that if you invested in Gala Cleo and now you have Xena, you could just invest in Xena and then put her on the comp instead and put Gala Cleo on the comp, and now you have a astronomical amount of healing in quests. Or you could simply just bring Gala Cleo and Xena. The that basically her whole character. I love her. I love it a lot. I've been wanting a Zethia alt since the game started, so I'm glad she's finally playable. I'm glad we had her. I thought it would be this character. I thought it would be Otherworld Zethia. One thing I do want to mention, her name is not Zethia in the game data. It is Xena. So if, per se, after Chapter 15, we get a Zethia version of the normal Zethia, they could hypothetically be on the same team. So that's just something to think about. But yeah, that's going to be all for me. Thank you so much for watching. Make sure to like and subscribe, and I'll see you next time.